This episode of Outdoor Journal Radio is brought to you in part by the Invasive Species Centre, protecting Canada's land and water from invasive species. Freedom Cruise Canada, rent the boat, own the memories. J&B Cycle and Marine, your home for all things power sports, boats, and equipment. And Sail, the ultimate destination for your outdoor adventures.
Good job, buddy.
God help us all. One and all. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the program, Outdoor Journal Radio, the podcast. Peter Bowman, Angelo Viola.
Hi.
We got a bunch of people here behind the scenes.
Come on now.
Stuff. We don't even
The whole
talk
crew.
about
Like, it's
them
unbelievable the amount of people that we have to run this show. This little tiny little show, right? Yeah.
And did you notice I put this on just for
Get
you?
the pickerel one back on. We
Come
should do a
on now.
pickerel one. We should have one that says pickerel on it for the old school boys.
You know what? I'll
You
bet
know what?
that
That's
would
not
be-
bad.
That's not a bad idea.
Not bad. I bet you'd sell them things.
I think you're onto something. Mark that down.
Mark that down, buddy.
Pickerel.
Pickerel.
Pickerels.
Yes, sir.
All right.
We like the pickerels, eh, Ange?
If you want one of these beauties that I got on, all you need to do is go to shop.fishingcanada.com. There it is right there.
For those
Come
of you
on
that
now.
aren't watching but listening, Ange has one of our nice walleye hoodies on. The
The most
walleye
popular hoodie that
Correct.
we have.
Correct. We have to. We can't exclude our listeners only, right?
No, true.
So.
True. I apologize for that profusely.
See how you've advanced in life? It was all about the listeners before, and then we moved to this, and now it's kind of you've shifted to the viewers now. So you gotta remember your original peeps, right? Wow.
I want to see my peeps wearing all them beautiful hoodies that I'm looking at up there right now.
Get on that YouTube and look at them hoodies, would you?
Anyways, all kinds of interesting stuff there. The new stuff is coming in. Spring has sprung, and all the new
Kinda.
summer wear is coming in.
Kinda.
Well, it's here.
It's a hard-ass spring, isn't it,
It's
this year?
all in our minds, right?
Well,
it's all about the attitude.
you see you walk out there today in a T-shirt, and I'll show you how it's in your mind or not.
Yeah, no kidding.
I said, dandy.
And what a wonderful guest. Speaking of spring and sunshine and bright lights
dandy
and
and
just
the whole 9 yards.
that whole thing. Our
Yeah.
special guest, Kris King, Kinger.
Hell
Kinger
yeah.
is going to join us here shortly. For those of you who may not be familiar with him, an illustrious hockey career. Spent some time with
I'll tell
Detroit, New York Rangers, Winnipeg, Phoenix, Chicago, and then, of course, our beloved Leafs as well.
Come on
I
now.
think that's because they wanted to get rid of him or they wanted to obtain him.
I've often wondered, how does a player that travels a lot, the
does he-
journeyman, how do they view
how
it?
does he
Is it
perceive
because
it? Yeah.
everybody because if they didn't want him, he wouldn't be going.
That's right. And they
So,
wouldn't have taken him, right?
I think in Kinger's case, I think they wanted him bad. Everybody was like arm wrestling for him.
yeah.
And who wouldn't? With look at the stats, 151 points, baby.
2,000 penalty minutes, over
That's-
2,000 pentalty minutes.
That's what I'm
That's
talking
pretty good
about.
right there.
Usually it's reverse, right? Usually
Yeah.
it's inverted, but Kinger was special.
He was a bit of an inversion, wasn't he?
He winner of the King Clancy Memorial Trophy as well. That's something that's given to a player that best exemplifies leadership. And if there's one thing that
like
Kinger
that.
does,
That's nice.
he is a leader.
Who would get that in this this year, right now, the current employees, who would get that award, the King Clancy? And you're included in that. You could be, like, we'd have somebody voting that,
Well, I don't
our
think
team.
it's fair to you, rest of you people, but he's also now he is senior vice president of hockey operations.
Nick's not even
for-
laughing. He's not even listening.
Nobody's listening.
Dean was listening.
Nobody's
I know
listening.
Dean. He listens to
He
us.
is senior vice president of hockey operations for NHL's central office in Tirana. He runs the war room.
Yeah, the war room. Yeah.
But really, all of that's nothing. He's an avid angler, a good buddy of ours. So
Are we
love
getting to
him
see
very
the
much.
war room today? Is he going to come from the war room, or is he
Maybe.
coming from?
I've
Maybe.
heard the
We'll
war
see.
room, it might be in play today.
Oh,
Ooh,
nice.
that'd be cool
great.
just to see it.
That'd
Eh?
be great.
That would be awesome.
But first, let's get to listener feedback, Mr. Bowman, from
Listener.
Baron von Schlag.
Jeez,
Come on now.
That is the best YouTube or Instagram name I've heard yet, or whatever. All of
Baron
these,
von Schlag.
all one at Baron von Schlag.
Via
That is
Instagram.
awesome. Oh my
in
God.
response to our Fredericton shoot.
Okay, BVS, here we go. It says a lot of locals don't even realize, it's in response to a Fredericton, New Brunswick shoot, realize that what kind of fishery we have here in New Brunswick. You can easily go slam bass all day long, or you can get a great try and do 5 or 6 different species, all within an hour's drive from the Fredericton area. And that is so true. That is exactly what that show showed, right?
Come on
That's
now.
right.
That's right. We had largemouth bass on the upper. What's that called? What is that called? Head pond. Mactaquac? No.
Yeah,
Mactaquac head pond or whatever. There's a lot. There's a bunch of people calling. Yeah, people call it all different things. You get a controversial when you call it one thing. You say no, but anyways, it's got a largemouth and smallmouth in it. So we did the largemouth there. We went down south of Fredericton, just a boat. Like a nice little quick boat ride down to the smallmouth. Right in front of Fredericton, Nikki got into the sturgeon, the short nose, or was it shovel nose? Short nose.
Whichever you like.
Whichever you like. A sturgeon is a sturgeon, right?
It's okay.
Doesn't matter. And then Adina went down quite a ways on a night shoot for stripers, and it wasn't quite a ways in the sense of less than an hour for sure. And then Ange did the muskie up in Woodstock, which is half an hour maybe drive, and it's an all world class. Like it really is a crazy.
It's a tremendous fishery.
It's good. So you're right there.
But what he's saying von Schlagen there, whatever it is, he's saying that the locals just have no idea.
I know. Hopefully our Ontario shoot from guys from Ontario put them onto their own fishery because it's amazing. You know what I mean?
I just realized they got no pickerels. No, they do. They do have a real pickerel.
Chain pickerel. That's right. They do. They have the real deal. You could add that into. There's 6 species there you could get.
Yeah.
All within a short distance. Did we get any of that shoot? Any pickerel?
No.
Up on the top end. Dean, did we get any in the top end when Nance had to leave there?
But on the ensuing episodes of the tournament that we had, somebody was catching.
Yes, there was pickerel in there for sure. Yeah.
They're there.
And that's right up there in Naquik area. Yep.
Anything you could possibly want, fishery-wise, is all
and some big ones too. Huge. Like, I mean, muskie, that one you got was ridiculous. That's a gorgeous, and then there's giant stripers there. Muskies and or stripers the same day if you want, same spot. Mm-hmm. It's crazy. Mm-hmm. It's a cool fishery. Very much.
So there you go, Baron von Schlag via Instagram.
You are correct, sir.
Absolutely, 100% correct. Conservation corner, Mr. Bowman.
The grass carp, Angelo. The grass carp, one of 4 species of them dirty, rotten Asian carp species that we don't like too much. Mm-hmm. And this guy is the one that eats all the weeds that kill all our fish that we need.
He's not doing it yet because they're not here yet.
No, he's doing it. It's just maybe not here. They are doing it no matter where they are, right? That's just what they do. They're a very dangerous and not positive invasive species that we don't want.
So that's what they do. So what do?
We get rid of them.
Oh, we get rid of them.
We get rid of them, and if we get them in here thick enough, you and I are going to go on a ramp. I'm going to show you some techniques. I'm going to show you some shit you ain't never seen before, buddy. Okay, I'm good at that stuff. Wow. Yeah, no, really, you have to obviously be able to, as in anything, as in duck hunting, you have to identify the species of bird before you shoot it. You have to you have to know what you're doing here, right? So yeah, exactly. So it's the same thing with these Asian, with any invasive species.
You're proposing we go out shooting them?
Well, why wouldn't we? Bow and arrow. We could do some bow and arrow. That'd be fun. Get an Asian carp, and you'd never get any complaints. You never. Well, you would get some complaints by certain people.
Of course you would.
But
for the most part, would be complaining mostly?
The complainers.
The complainers.
The complainers. Those non-complacent complainers.
Any particular type?
Yes. The anti-bow hunters. They might not like Bowman using bows.
I got
Come on now.
And that's right. And that would be.
So you must have been a bow hunter like centuries ago in a previous life.
Absolutely, buddy.
Yeah, bow hunter
from Peterborough.
Bowman.
Peterborough Bowman.
Peterborough.
That's the bow hunter from Peterborough.
Bow hunter from Peterborough.
Pretty good, eh, Ange?
I like that.
What do you got?
I like that. Well, thankfully,
it only took you 35, 40 years to figure that one out on me, eh?
Thankfully, the grass carp is not caught hold yet here in this part of the world.
I hope
but they're coming.
Man. I hope
so
not.
What we need to do is make sure that we arm ourselves with all of the information, especially identification.
Yep, that's the big one.
And then also where to report if you do see one. Those are all important factors. You can download on your phone from the asiancarp.ca website and be on the lookout, man. That's That's all I can tell you.
Yes. Well said.
Thank you. In the news, brought to you by J&B, your outdoor superstore.
Come on now.
J&B Cycle Marine, largest Ontario Princecraft Mercury dealer.
Wow.
Safe to say that's probably going to be pretty close to Canadian.
Very close. I bet they're up there. They rank in probably the top 2 or 3.
Outboard Motors, packages, Volva just
Hello,
walked
Mr.
in.
Volva.
He's pulling a Nick on us.
He's got his health food
Give me a
there.
hell yeah.
Actually, he did it in reverse. Normally, Nick starts here and then he leaves during the show. Volva didn't start, but now he walked in with his...
He wants to show Nick what a professional looks like.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? This is how you do it, Nick. Okay?
Exactly.
Don't walk out on the boys. Walk in and you look like a hero. Walk out, you look like a zero.
There you go. See?
Nicky, you got it?
Yeah.
You got it, buddy? Okay. Oh, here you go. He's reeling in a big one.
Yes, in the news, Canadian angler nets 100.
Dino! God, atta boy. That's good.
That's
What
the
was that?
That's the breaking news
It's
sound.
kind of a shitty news sound. It was,
it's not even close.
Look at
News
look at
sound.
Bova's checking Dean's
Bova's
work
even
now.
saying, "What the hell
No,
is
he's
that?"
checking Dean's work, making sure he pushed record on the cameras and stuff.
Awful nice of you to show up today, Bo.
Come on now.
We really appreciate that.
This is
Thank
his
you.
second shift. He was here already today, so he's double
J&B
time.
Cycle, where was I? In the news, Canadian angler nets $100,000 for a 4.4-pound walleye. That's not a very big fish. I mean,
Speaking of which,
right there.
not a very big fish, but
That guy should be wearing one of these.
he can afford it now.
Especially with $100,000, he
My
could
God,
buy himself
he
the
could
whole
buy
family.
he could buy the
Whole
whole
family.
He could buy-
Buy the whole family one of those. Give us a call, buddy, whoever
we'll give you a deal on that just because you're a winner.
What's the story? I screwed that up.
No, it's weird. It's an annual ice fishing derby, and it's kind of a weird one, and not a weird one. It's a pre-drilled hole derby.
Yeah,
so,
check out behind you here for those who are
there,
watching
look at
on
that.
YouTube.
There's a pre-drilled
pretty
hole derby. What it looks like. So the organizers go out the night before, the morning of, whatever, before the tournament, the derby starts, and they drill a hole. Every one of those anglers is over an ice hole.
Holy smokes.
I said ice hole. I said ice hole.
Yes, you did.
Thank
yes, you
you.
did.
I love the
Imagine-
road going down there
Can you
too.
imagine that's your job?
Can you imagine catching that one 4.3
Yeah,
pound,
4.4.
that one walleye, where it went? Did it have to go to the center of the earth there, or did it stand on an outer rim, which you'd think he might be caught on this outside edge or something like that?
So
But
was this the big fish? Is
that
what
was
it
the biggest fish of
Yeah,
the
the big
entire
fish.
event, believe it or not.
Like that's a couple of episodes we've done now where we're reporting about tournaments or derbies with where the shelves were pretty bleak.
Yeah.
Elliott
Well, the
Lake,
one was nothing.
no fish at all.
Zero
and
fish.
now
This
with
is in-
all of this mayhem, can you imagine what that looks like? If you're a scuba diver, can you imagine what that would, all those lines?
No
and,
kidding. Well, you get hung up pretty quick.
and all of that produced a 4.4-pound walleye.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
not that good.
This
Nothing
is
to be proud of, I'll tell
Montreal
you.
Lake in Saskatchewan, by the way, is where it was. Not to say anything against the fishery, because it's a good fishery there. It's probably could be a bad day, could be the time of day. You know what I mean? Who knows what is going on? But they lined up at 6 a.m. to the pre-drilled holes. It started at 11 a.m. and it's one of those biggest fish wins. So Gregorio Roguel Jr. Raul? That's the way you spell
Raul.
it. That's not the way you spell it, is it?
I don't know.
Gregorio
It sounds-
Raul. Oh, that sounds
Sure.
like it.
It
Sure,
sounds good.
Junior.
Junior.
From Priestville, Saskatchewan. One with a 4.4, as Ange said before. So he was traveling with 4 friends, and they agreed to split any winnings. So they a 4.5 hour drive to get there, and these boys are driving home with a chunk of cash.
Holy mackerel! Look at second place was 25 grand.
Exactly.
Third place was 10 grand.
That's a damn good derby, buddy. To go out there and sit in that hole for probably 4 hours or whatever it was. It's well worth it. I mean, the guy, Blake Charles, second place, 25 grand. Actually, he won as much as those boys did because they all split it. So he might have done
might have
better.
done better.
If he's had 4 friends, so there's 5 of them, yeah, he did better.
I noticed something here.
Oh, one
They
guy
must have started on the outside when they were drilling, the drilling guys, right? Because notice how nice and straight they are, and all very uniform. And then as they got in farther, look what happened here. Look at this mess.
He's about 8 beers in there, and
I never even thought of that. Anyways,
that's good. Yeah. Very interesting layout. They do that on Lake Simcoe too. Or they did that on Lake Simcoe for a while. There were pre-drill holes and stuff like that. And when you see a view, when you look at it from the ice level, you don't think anything of it. But when you see an aerial view like this, it shows you that's insane.
That'd be fun.
It would be good. You're definitely watching everybody that wins. You're catching them all, or you're seeing them all catch. So
now, was this like a charity thing?
Yes,
fundraiser.
Yes, it was a fundraiser. Right. So
okay. Those are always good.
They're very good. Yeah. What the heck? I mean, obviously they're getting they're conjuring up some good money to give prizes like that away. So.
Alrighty. Fan question of the week brought to you by our good friends at fishfindermounts.com.
Come on now.
Fishfindermounts.com.
I'm just setting up our portable unit as we speak right now. We're getting it all organized, and I'm
not portable.
Charging.
That ain't much. That ain't much for portable.
It's portable, but we need Dean to carry it for us.
When you need 2 people to carry it, it ain't much.
Yeah, we go a little excessive in our
this week's question submitted by Declan O'Sullivan from Nova Scotia via email.
Good Irish by there, eh?
Declan O'Sullivan from Nova Scotia via email.
Yes.
So I guess he's in running for some buckaroos here, right?
No, because he emailed us.
Oh, so this doesn't count.
That's right. That's correct.
Right. Wow. That's like a couple of weeks in a row that we're not giving away the buckaroos.
Are
you getting stingy or something?
I bet you Monique is happy about this.
Probably.
She's she's on the same. Something happened.
I don't even know if that make her happy or not.
That won't make her happy?
Nah.
What makes her happy nowadays anymore? Is there a threshold that you have to sort of surpass anymore?
Attention, all flights loading for Las Vegas, gate number 14. Please be. That would make her happy.
That makes her happy. Nothing else.
No.
That's awesome.
So, Declan says, do you notice a difference between fishing from a big, fully rigged boat like FNC1? That's the second week in a row that somebody's talked about FNC1. I like that.
Wow. They remember.
Even though she's been in retirement now for, 2 seasons?
Well, you brought it out on the Nova Scotia shoot, but not filming it. Well, we did film it probably.
That's true.
A little bit.
Boat like FNC1 and something smaller like a tinner or a canoe. I know the big setups have their perks, but there's something I've always loved about doing it the old school way.
You know, he definitely got a point. Declan's got a point because, it's great. Our running our Expedition Prince Crafts, the brand new ones, we're spoiled in that sense. Big double console with flip up seats and the whole 9 yards and all that. It's great, but getting in that little tinner, you don't like it. Obviously, you don't like it. You're giving me that look.
Okay. It's not a fair question.
No, it's not. But
and you're trying to you're trying to hide the fact that
no,
inside you're saying, are you kidding?
No.
So if I give you a choice.
I take
any body of water, pond, creek, it doesn't matter.
Correct.
If I give you a choice,
I got to go up the creek.
Here's your little 14-foot tinner. All right, right there.
I know where you're going, but
or there's FNC1 right there.
Declan needs
take one.
Answer.
Take one. Go. Enjoy yourself. Take one out. You're going to take the little tinner.
Up that creek, I would. That FNC1 will be stuck.
You're going to be up the creek pretty soon.
It's going to be stuck. You don't like it fishing out of a nice 14-foot, 16-foot
Let me tell you.
Like a nice tiller boat.
Let me tell you what a 14-foot tinner means to me and why I do enjoy those moments. It means that I'm in some remote part of the world.
Of course.
Where I cannot get my 20-plus foot.
This is what I'm talking about.
Boat in. So what I'm enjoying is not necessarily fishing out of the 14-foot tinner. I'm enjoying the experience of being in an area where I don't have access for my bigger equipment. So I'm enjoying that moment.
You realize there's an outhouse up on the shoreline over there, right?
Well, that's the other thing I didn't want to talk about. You always want to get down there. You want to go down that road? I'll go down that road with you. Okay.
I enjoy sitting in like one of those northern lakes.
So
I
think what we're going to do this year, because I want you to enjoy yourself, all right? I want you to enjoy yourself as much as you possibly can.
We should leave that Princecraft back on every shoot.
No.
Every shoot.
No. The shoots
Just
I'm
to test
on,
it.
I will be taking.
I got a feeling that's the way it's
all
going to be anyway.
However, because I want to bring you joy and
Yes.
to your life, I am
I
going
have
to
no
make sure
problem
that
with that.
every shoot you are on, you'll be fishing. Your butt will be in a nice little 14
It
foot
hasn't
tenor.
changed in any other year. This is exactly what we do. So it's what we do.
I'm going to make sure of it.
You know.
The difference is I'm going to make
I like
sure of it.
that fishfindermounts.com portable setup there
Oh,
in
yeah,
that
yeah.
boat with a beautiful 4-stroke Merc on the back. I'm telling you what, you can catch some fish doing that.
You're going to be
It's
four-stroking
enjoyable.
in that little tinner.
You're stroking that big one. Bobby Dazzler stroking on the lake.
Obviously, Declan, you have an opinion, two opinions here. My opinion is that it's much better to be fishing out of a fishing boat if you can make that happen. If you can't, then you make do with what you can. But you can't really say that if you have the option, you'd rather do that.
Nobody's going to do that.
Right?
No.
And I love being in a canoe, fishing out of canoes. I did that for
That's
years.
a
I love it.
literal pain in the ass.
It
that
is.
one.
It is.
Hurts your butt.
But what is special about that is the reason that you're fishing out of a canoe is because that's all you can
Absolutely.
bring into
That's
places
about
like
everything
that.
around you for
Yeah.
sure. It's not the boat because the boat is a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
It's about everything else around you, which is what we got to do this year in that little spot we were talking about there at the Sportsman Show. You know what I'm talking about.
Time to move on, I think. This show's dragging because you know why? Because I can't wait for Kinger to come on
Who?
here. Kinger. Who? That's not very nice. Main segment of the show brought to you by Sail. S-A-I-L. The what do they call themselves?
Look at you, spelling it out and everything.
What do they call it? Well, because people don't, they say Sail.
S-A-L-E,
Yeah.
you're thinking, right?
Like, what is it, on sale?
No,
Not on
you
sale?
didn't.
S-A-I-L, baby. It's home for all things fishing, camping, hiking, clothing, footwear, boats, tin boats. There you go. How about a canoe or a inflatable or a kayak?
Lots of kayak stuff.
They got it all.
Do they have a little name, Dean, to Sail the so-and-so, the other
Well-
one and the other?
The outdoor store is what they're going with now.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. The outdoor specialist was us, right? That was Barclays.
Oh, yeah.
The outdoor specialist. I was
That
going to say
guy
the outdoor
smoking
specialist.
a pipe there, Mr. Barclay.
Yeah. I always wondered what he had in that pipe.
Oh, you know what he had in that
You
pipe.
figure?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he looked a little bit dozy.
Oh, yeah. He was hitting the crack pipe pretty good there.
So head on over. If you have a store near you, it's a great opportunity to just go in there and immerse yourself in all this wonderful outdoor stuff. In lieu of being in the outdoors yourself, go in there and make yourself feel like you're in the outdoors. But chances are real good if you go, you're going to buy something. I always do. I go in with good intentions not to buy.
Can't be done. You can't come out of there without a little bit of a purchase of some type.
But if not, you can always go to the website. If you don't have one near you, go to sail.ca. That's sail.ca. And I understand that there are all kinds of goodies on there right now.
Always,
including
there's always sales on a sale. Always.
SALES
On
at SAIL.ca.
Correctamundo. Correctamundo.
Kinger, welcome to the show, brother. Look at you. Hey, you're at.
One second.
Oh.
There
we go.
you are.
I got to practice my goal calls tonight.
Oh.
No goal for Toronto, goal interference.
Don't start. Okay. I wasn't even going to go there, so don't
There
start.
is no way that you're not going to go there. You have to.
I was not
you
gonna go
You have
there.
the opportunity with him in the
No.
war room.
I was not going to go there because he did did
favorable call?
us a solid, and then as the Lord giveth, and then the Lord taketh away.
Okay.
Immediately after. So it's at best, it's
Neutral?
it's a
You're just-
neutral.
okay.
So I'm not going to pick on him.
Okay.
Because I want him in good spirits tonight while he's watching the game.
I'm always in good spirits when I see you two guys.
Well, thank you.
Hey, do you want to see where I am?
Yes,
Yeah, we
show
do.
us around. This is the war
Hey, this
room,
is gonna be
people.
tight, but this is what we do here most nights. So there's our screens getting ready to be set up.
Oh, that's cool.
There is the one you're looking at. Toronto,
Nice.
Florida, big game.
Big game.
Montreal, Detroit, huge game.
Wow.
Jersey, big game for them.
Look at
Pittsburgh.
this.
And then we have
Hey.
our workstations back here.
How many people are going to be coming into that room tonight, Chris?
Well, let's have a look here, fellas. We've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 13, 14, 18 people will be working here tonight.
18
Holy
people are going to
shit.
be working there, and it's so exciting. We've
Oh,
had
3 big ones
yeah. Do tell.
on one of them.
It's so exciting. We've had the privilege of going in there during a game and checking it out. Man, I'll tell you,
It's got to be hustle and bustle, eh?
it's truly the war room. I mean, it's
Yeah.
very appropriately named the war room. Because,
Really, eh?
Oh, it's just so much pressure and tension. Like, keep in mind, every game that's going on is on
Right.
playing in that room, right?
Yeah.
And you've got a team of guys watching every one of those games, and they watch everything. You got to see it. It's an incredible experience. You guys do a great job.
That's why I drink in the afternoon.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding.
I like that lighting, too.
Bubbly water.
Attaboy.
Now, before we get into the fishing stuff, because I want to talk to you about a couple of things fishing wise, but
Couple things.
more importantly,
You're hockey, and here we go.
you guys
everybody.
have got, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys have got even more responsibilities this year over last year. There's a few other things that, I mean, aside from goal-related calls.
Yeah.
You're also doing, you're doing the offsides.
Oh, yeah. So we review all goals. Like
All goals.
these loggers that are at the stations behind me,
Yeah.
they're assigned a game, and their job is to watch that game and let us up front here we're on the stage, we call it,
Okay.
whether we have to deal with something in that specific game or not. So we're looking at kick pucks, high stick pucks, pucks batted in, pucks over the goal line or not. So that's always been something that we've done. And the goalie interference and the offside challenges you mentioned has come in. I think we're 6 years into that now. Then they brought in the missed game stoppages in the offensive zone that could be played with a high stick to a teammate. It hits
That's
the
the one.
glass or it hits the netting, drops in, the guy score. Anything where the whistle should have went, teams can challenge that. But now what you're talking about is with our retired official in the room, the referees can review all 5-minute major penalties they call
Right.
or 4-minute double minor high sticking penalty to make sure they got it right. Because sometimes, like 4 minutes is a tough penalty. It's, you can score 2 goals on it. If they get it wrong and there's no way to fix it, it's a really hard one to eat. So they can review all those. We'll get on the headset with the guys, show them replays, and then they'll confirm their call. They can also look at a 5-minute major, and if they call a major in real time, they look at it and say, oh, you know what, that wasn't as bad as I thought. I could call a 2-minute penalty, or they can actually take the penalty right off the board if they feel it's not worthy. So
Has that happened? Has that happened this year?
oh yeah, it's happened. Yeah.
Wow.
You see a guy go into the boards funny, you turn around and the guy's right over him and they're like, oh man, did he cross check him in? But he actually, one time a guy stepped on the puck and fell in. And so we look at it, and instead of the guy sitting in the box for 5 minutes, he's free,
Wow.
So it's hard ones to defend when they get them wrong. So we're not officiating from this room, so to speak, but we're fixing problems that we have the ability to do by looking again at replay. Referees see it once, they call it, put their arm in the air, they call it.
Right.
Now they get a chance to look at it and fix.
How many guys are in your position, Kinger? You said, what do you call that where you're sitting? You said there was.
So let me show you here. So this is kind of the front desk where
yeah.
we watch all the games from. And there's 16, Smitty, how big are these TVs?
Those are 86.
86-inch TVs. And then you're in the old room. We had 8 of them. Now we have 16.
Wow.
So there's 3 of us up here most nights. Coley Campbell's the boss, as you know, and you've met him. He lives in Tilsonburg, and he's got a miniature setup like this. And his Zoom camera's up above us here, right there.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah.
And he watches all of us in here, and we talk to him throughout the night because he's the one getting the shitty calls from the owners, the GMs, and such. And so he has to be involved in all of this. So it's,
Wow.
it's
no
quite
idea.
No they
idea.
don't. What happens when you got multiple calls? Is there ever a time when all you guys on the front desk there are busy on a different game?
You know what? It's a great question, and it's something that we call it the less than perfect storm. We've had a couple where we've had 2, a goal review, a goalie interference challenge, and a referee challenge. That's why we staff it with the number of people that we do. We just cannot not be ready. You
Right.
know, so
Right.
So
Yeah.
now, as an avid fan of your operation and
Yep.
hockey in general, I have to tell you that most of the things that you guys do, I can understand because it's black and white, right? The puck either went over the line or it didn't go over the line. The stick
Correct.
was either above your shoulders or it wasn't. Although the other night was questionable, but it's pretty easy. There is a black and white, but the goalie interference, I'm having a difficult time with, Kinger. I'm really struggling with this one because I think it's very subjective. I mean, how do you know from sitting there that the goalie was impeded? How do you know? Like you don't, right?
Well, because I've done every single one of them since the beginning of time. You know, I mean, your point's right, and I hope you're not sounding like a media person.
No.
Toronto fan, but
No. God, no.
they're snowflakes. Seriously, Ange, they're snowflakes. None of them are the same. And coaches will say, and GMs will say, and goalie coaches will say, well, that is the exact same play that happened to us the other night, and you ruled different. Well, no. First of all, you got to remember the referee makes a call on the ice.
Yeah.
That's what we work off of. So he makes a call, good goal or no goal, the team can then challenge his call.
Right.
So he calls a goal. The team looks at it. They think their goalie was impeded. They challenge it. We look at it. We're looking at a lot of different things. Was he able to do his job in the crease? Was the player in the blue paint not allow him to do his job? Was he shoved in there by the defending player? Did he go there on his own accord and get deep enough that the guy couldn't come out? You can still be in the crease and have goals scored. We're not in the foot in the crease rule anymore. Could the goalie reset after he got bumped? So all these things come into the equation, and then by giving the referee a chance to look at it again, both referees, myself or one of the guys that are in here, and the retired official, the four of us will come up with the answer. And if there's not enough evidence to get those two referees that made the call in real time to change their mind, we're going to stay with their call. If they get a chance to look at it and go, you know what, I didn't see his skate clip that goalie skate there in the blue from where I was standing, they'll change their call. So there was a time at the start of this where they thought the referees might not like this setup, but we've learned to work together and we educate everybody. Every call that's made every week goes out to the entire staff of 90, both referees and linesmen, and they study them because some guys might have 3 a year, some guys might have 13, but we do them all.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
So this is the consistency it's going to get.
How much pressure is there on you guys when that call, I know from a viewer standpoint, but I'm just wondering, being in that room, how much pressure is on you guys when that minute turns into 2 minutes and 3 minutes? Like, are you guys, are you cognizant of the time, or are you so full of adrenaline that at that moment you don't even know that it's been 5 minutes?
Well, a lot of the times when it's starting to lag a bit, but you've got to understand you're in TV and you get it. Like, you're only, let's just say we're at the mercy of what our broadcast gives us as far as replays.
Right.
Because we're relying on replays to get better looks at it. They've got lots of cameras. National games have way more cameras than a regional game. So a game in Toronto on Sportsnet may have twice the amount of cameras that a game in Columbus would have on a Tuesday night. So we rely on them, and we understand the importance of it. We can't wait forever. We've got fans sitting at home. We got fans in the building. We got fans, watching on TV, that you just can't hold them hostage for 5 and 6 minutes.
Right.
Our average on our challenges are just over 2 minutes, 2 minutes and 15 seconds. The old offside challenges take forever because you have to tell if this much of a little blade was touching that root line. So with putting the foot in the air, which we changed just for reviews, it's really sped them up. But back to your original question, how much pressure? Sometimes you leave this room and you feel it's a fishing show as low as whale shit sometimes because you know that you were part of it, And,
Yeah.
But the beauty of this room is there's no dog in the fight. You're just doing your job like you did the night before, and you're going to do tomorrow night. And you take the the video that's in front of you and the expertise and the consistency that you've done in doing this for 6 years, and you apply it to every call. And you're going to have one team that agrees with you and have one team that doesn't. You have to have thick skin, boys, or you can't do this job.
Does any of it go home with you? Do you ever take that one call that you just and you take it with you for a few days?
And so that's why I live 15 minutes from here walking, which usually takes me about a half an hour to drive the same distance. But I always walk home after work, unless it's really cold out, and I'll beg one of the guys for a ride. But it kind of settles me down and gives me a chance to think about. But you know what? We're just doing our job. I mean, we there is a lot of pressure on it. Again, we're not officiating from here. We're just doing what we're asked to do. And, it's more than goals and goalie challenges and the whole thing. It's keepers of the game and eyes in the game and monitoring officiating to make it better, monitoring injuries, trends within the game so we can take them to the general managers. And a lot of the rule changes come from what these guys see in this room and what we see on a nightly basis. So it's a heck of a good way to stay in the game that you love after playing a long time. And, I played 15 years, and now this is my 24th year in the office. So.
I was going to say, what a great way to extend your career in the game that you love. I mean,
because these guys can't play till they're 65 years old and retire.
Well,
you know what I mean?
I think I'm better now than when I got paid.
His wife made him quit. He was just a sissy. His wife made him quit. He could have still
when I retired, she got me another job because I was bugging the shit out of her. I was falling around the house like a lost puppy. I didn't know what to do. It's so funny when you play, though. You have your routine. We get up in the morning. You maybe drop the kids off at school. You go see the guys in the room, and you have fun. You practice hard. You always go for lunch. Then you go home. Kids come home, and you have dinner. And then sometimes you go on the road, and you do it all over again. But when you retire, all that's gone. And some guys can handle it. Some guys can't.
Tough. That's tough, man. Why do you think I'm still here? Because I say to myself, what am I going to do? I met
your wife. She doesn't want you at home.
That's true
time,
too.
so.
That's a good point. So
the problem is, Kinger, she's still here too. She's with them everywhere they go together.
That's okay. Okay. At least you like Vegas. That's good.
I think this has got to be one of the most exciting NHL, and I've been watching this game before you even started playing, as you know. But this season has got to be the most exciting season the NHL has ever had. There's so many things, so many pieces in this one. You had the 4-on-4 series, which was unbelievable.
That was good. Yeah.
You've got
Four Nations one. It's fantastic.
My God,
that was awesome.
It was better than we thought it was.
That's a home run, double home run. Then you've got Ovechkin at the beginning of the year. We're saying there's no way. Well, you know what? Maybe next year he'll. And all of a sudden, shit starts happening there. And now you did that.
Yeah.
And
we got this big thing called a TV deal just done last week.
That's right too. That little deal happened, I'm going
to knock on wood or whatever they make these countertops out of now. But we've had a really good year. And it just keeps getting better. I just pulled up on my computer here the standings, and
oh my God!
I mean, you got Toronto, Tampa, and Florida all battling for home ice. But what does it mean? Because Toronto, Tampa, or Florida are going to play probably Ottawa, who's just been lights out a little bit, and they haven't been in the playoffs forever.
Yeah,
and
they got a goal.
Two of those 4 teams are going to be gone.
Yeah.
Then you look at the other side. You got Winnipeg, who's had an incredible season. Dallas, Colorado. Like, who do you want to play? Who don't you want to play?
You don't want to play any of them.
It's murderer's row of great hockey teams. Like
You're right. I mean, it's been an incredible season. I'm looking at this games tonight. We got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and of the 10, 8 of them mean something. Like Carolina's playing Buffalo. Awesome. Carolina's looking for home ice. Montreal, Detroit, huge for both those teams. Montreal wants to get that last spot. Toronto, Florida, we know what that means. Yeah. New Jersey's still looking. Ottawa, Columbus, huge for Ottawa. Then we got Chicago, Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Islanders, Nashville. Islanders think they're still in it. Vancouver, Dallas, a little bit of hope for Vancouver, but probably not. Seattle, Utah, another one we'll let somebody else watch. And then Vegas, Colorado. Both those teams are looking to move up. So every night it's like this.
I cannot remember a season that has gone this far into the final couple of weeks where everything is meaningful, right? Yeah. Everything is meaningful. Every game is a must watch,
Well, you guys all have your favorite teams, and we know who yours is, but you can turn on any TV, any channel, and watch any of these games and be intrigued because of what they're playing for. And there's a lot of teams who've been playing playoff hockey for the last month already. Montreal, Ottawa, have to win. And I'm looking at the east side again, like Detroit's only 5 out, Rangers, same thing, Islanders, 6, Columbus, 7. I mean, they've got 5-6 games left, but you win them, you get a chance, but you got to worry about the teams in front of you. But we could have Ottawa, Montreal, Toronto in the east, and then Winnipeg for sure, and Edmonton for sure, and maybe Calgary. We could have 6 of the 7 in there.
That's crazy.
You know?
Wow.
Yeah, it's great. It's awesome. Great game.
Speaking of Canada, I guess we cannot just totally avoid this discussion. Are things how are things looking with Canada-U.S. relationships? I'm hearing booing of the anthems and all this stuff. How are we dealing with this stuff? What's the general mood there?
You brought up the Four Nations earlier, and I was lucky enough to be there and partially running it with all of our NHL people. And Montreal was a fabulous place to host. Yeah. But like the best of times, Quebecers, they don't usually take sides in politics, right? They just love their. Time is when the first tariff.
Good one, Ginger. Good one.
I tried to stick handle around that. You've seen stick handle, so I beat the piss out of that one. It was incredible. Like they looked so forward to that American-Canada game, and the people were going crazy, and then those street fights to start it out. Like I never thought that was going to happen.
No,
crazy. And then they lose that game. They go to Boston, and then they have to win. They both have to win big games to get there, and then we all saw what happened in the final game. But there's a little bit of animosity in the world right now, and there's a lot of animosity in North America, and then we're feeling the brunt of something that one guy down there thinks is going to be good for his country, and I don't think it's affecting our games, so to speak. It's affecting the Canadian teams that pay American dollars to their players. That's reality in it for sure. And travel wise, it hasn't been an issue yet, but we've been told in our office, if we're traveling to the States, give yourself more time because they're a little harder at the border right now. Yeah. And I don't know whether that's part of this or not, but we just hope that it all kind of stays the same and we can get through this playoff because it's going to be good. But I think we're as unsure as everybody else is of what's going to happen.
It's a lot to do with the fans too, though, right? Like it creates a real huge event instead of a big event. It just makes it that much bigger. It's like the Canada Russia way back in the day, stuff like that. It's just it's like you have a different mind.
I love that emotion that you can cut with a knife at games and stuff. I think it's great. You mentioned something there a moment ago, and I've been meaning to ask you this question. Is there any mechanism in place to help the Canadian teams when it comes to the dollar? Or is everything just as it is? It's American dollars that we're dealing in, and it's tough to be a Canadian entrepreneur with Canadian money that you have to hire players and pay the staff. Right? How does that work? Because it would be totally unbalanced, right?
It's called revenue sharing, and it's been in place for a while. Unfortunately, the teams that make a lot of money subsidize the teams that don't. And it's been agreed upon thing that they put in place amongst the owners. And, some of these teams that struggle, not just north of the border, but in the United States as well, they will be subsidized depending on the amount of monies that they generate. So I'm not completely sure how that all works and the formula that they use to follow, but teams are made whole by what they call revenue sharing.
Okay, so when they do a $10 million contract times 8 or 7 or whatever that is, that's in U.S. currency. If it's a Canadian team, though, that's not $10 million. It's really in their world, it's $14 million, right? So
look at specific, and it's absolutely right. But you look at even some states that have no state tax.
Right, like Florida.
Playing Nashville and Florida and compared to playing in New York and California, you're making $10 million in Nashville, you're making 7.5 in California after taxes, right? So
wow,
that's why Florida tends to get some good players. Vegas gets to get some good players, and a lot of guys like to go to Nashville, and not because they're great cities, because the taxes involved.
Hell yeah, can't blame them.
That's true.
Yeah. Wow. And it's the same in all sport.
Yeah,
same Major League Baseball, same in football. And
nice little deal Guerrero made the other day.
Yeah,
Right?
he just got himself all signed up. Half a what's he getting?
$500 million. No, 500 million.
500 million.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Your cable's going up, boys.
No kidding, buddy.
Kidding.
No kidding.
Do you ever kick yourself? Do you ever say, "Man, if only I was born 20 years, later, I could be enjoying all of the fruits that all this money that these guys are making." When you were in the game, I mean, money was not the main focus, right? You guys just loved the game. You loved playing, and that's why you did it. And now,
20 years later, I wouldn't be talking to you, handsome bastard.
There you go.
That's true.
Yeah, we wouldn't have made the friendships that we did, and maybe, I'd be pushing you in a wheelchair onto your boat.
Thank you.
No, on your yacht, and I'll be on your yacht, buddy. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good point too. That's a good point too. Yeah. You know what? I love the time that I played. The 80s, 90s, early 2000s was a different game. You're right too. Money didn't play a big factor.
No.
Guys were so much closer in the amount of monies that they made, and I mean, I never regret when I played or how I played. It was just a different time, and fortunate enough to play this great game. I don't know if I would have been able to play the style of game that they play now, because they're, you'd know the role I played, but
that's a good point.
There's different rules in place now. But I talked to all my buddies and your buddies, and I think they'd be lying if they didn't say they made and enjoyed the game a little bit better in the 80s and 90s.
Oh my God.
Without question. I mean,
and that doesn't take anything away from today, because these players today are ridiculous how skilled they are.
But almost to a fault, though. I mean, because the skill level is so incredibly high every night. Like you're going to see 6-7 games tonight, and every one of those games, there's going to be that moment where you say, "Holy shit!
Yeah,
how the hell did they do that? How did they do that?" Whereas back in your era, we didn't like. If you had one or two of those moments a year, that was huge. So I guess, in terms of, we'll bring it down to our level now. It's like fishing in a pond that's got nothing but 10-pound largemouth bass. Well, you know what? After a while, you kind of grow callous to that whole 10-pound bass thing. But absolutely.
I want to go, Kinger. You want to go? Let's go, buddy.
Lake Wheaties.
But if it only happens once in a while, there's a certain level of excitement. That's what you guys did with the game back then. There were the emotions that were in that game when you played it were obviously we'll never see that again. It's fantastic.
But I think. And again, I think our game's in great shape. I think these young players are brilliant. I'm just looking at Matthews getting interviewed on here for ESPN. They're on ESPN tonight, and like, this guy's incredible. Like I'd have 100 pucks and never shoot the way he did. Like this guy's so good. But they're you look at your team. You got him. You got Marner. You got Matthews.
Nylander,
and now Johnny T having the year that he's having. Yeah. Holy cow, man! Yeah. Like, holy cow!
Yeah, there's a guy who caught. He just grabbed that ring at the right time at the end of his career, at the end of his contract, and the way he's playing right now, who wouldn't sign him up for another 4 or 5 years?
All these old guys, they're hoping to stay in the game and have a chance and take a cut in their pay, and this guy's going to be sought after by teams. He's got almost 40 goals, or he does have 40.
Crazy.
But you know what? That's the beauty of the game. You got to play the games, Anyway,
let's talk fishing. How's that? I need to talk to you about one thing in particular I wanted to mention to you that's in my notes. You're starting to embrace technology a little bit,
Yeah.
And we want to talk to you. Yeah, I want to talk to you about that. How did your fishing season go with technology in your boat?
Well, actually pretty well. Like I didn't. Listen here, I got grandkids now, right? So
there we go. I like it.
My 7-day window decreased to 4.5 or 5.
Yeah. Okay.
So and then I got to take 2 of those 4.5 for our club tournaments in Muskoka, which are all my buddies. And I told you, most of them, they got good jobs, but they've got great boats, and we try to sneak out and have a little bit of fun. You bet a lot of those guys are all good guys. The guys I grew up with, guys I love fishing with.
Yeah.
And then Coop, who you know too, him and I joined that raw fish tourney on Georgian Bay, a new body of water for us, and we really relied on our electronics on a body of water we weren't really familiar with. You ask people of places you might need to go or want to go, but on a huge body of water like that, it's not easy. So we both got really dialed in. I think Coop's a little better at it than I am. I'm still old school a little bit with, I caught one there before, there's got to be another one.
Right.
But we did quite well for two guys that hadn't fished a lot on Georgian Bay. We made it to the Classic weekend. We fished on the Saturday, finished just out of the cut line to make the Sunday. So we thought it was a pretty successful tournament.
Do you both fish out of the front of the boat, Kinger, or are you in the back?
Not always. We will when we see them.
Right. That's what I was going to say with the electronics. It can be an advantage to be both at the front for sure.
Yeah, I like to bomb them, so.
Big old bomb of topwater or something out there around Smallies.
I don't want to be taking Coop's hat with me when I'm doing that. So,
what's the biggest difference that you've noted? Maybe last year versus previous years. What's the biggest difference you've noted when you rely a little bit more on electronics than in the past? How's it changed you?
It's the speed of fishing. Yeah. It really is. Yeah.
Great point.
We see fish, and maybe we didn't see them there before, but now we find a group of fish and they're around, but they're not biting right away. But then we'll see that they're reacting to different things, and then we're able to change things up a little bit and get that one bite. And whereas before we'd see them, we'd throw them and with what we like, and we're all comfortable with certain baits, right? We are. Of course. So we just slowed down a lot more and found that to be very successful for us. And what we do is, if we would find fish and we couldn't get them to play with us at that time, we'd move on a little bit, but we knew where we were coming back, and then we would change it up a little bit. So we weren't as run and gunning as we used to be. And I think that that kind of became a strength for us, where we were comfortable enough to slow down and maybe sneak back and see if that same group was there, and if they were, whether they were hungry this time. So it took us a little while because we both like to run and gun, but we just started to change baits a little more and spend a little more time in places where we actually knew there was fish. Yeah. And we go to places, we go to places where we always caught fish and they weren't there, then we just go.
Right. Exactly.
That's the beauty of it, right? That's the beauty of it. You don't have to waste time.
That's right. It does that, or the opposite of, you see them, oh my God, there are fish here. We never thought there were fish here. And then you stay out. At least now your mind can go into a confidence mode and a fishing mode, right? Versus trying, is there something going on? Wasting all that time casting and casting. So yeah, it makes a big difference. It really does. So. And
listen, I've got so much more to learn. And I know Coop will say the same thing, but it's, you gotta put your time in.
You do.
Oh, and I watch you guys, and I know, like, you're both real good, and it takes some time, but it's actually really, really cool way to fish when you see them,
my God, it's
and
fun.
you present it to them, and they come, and you got him, and he's in the live well, and you're going like, that was pretty cool.
I'll tell you, Kinger, the first couple of years was tough. Making that transition for us, and I'm talking in particular now live scope. Even before we were talking about forward view, just the whole concept of live scope. We spent a couple of years struggling, because we knew that this was the direction that we needed to go in, but we didn't understand it.
Yeah,
we didn't know what we
old
were.
School boys that were used to casting to a lily pad, right?
We didn't know what we were watching. We couldn't. And then all of a sudden, and it happened just like one day. It just clicks in.
Yeah.
It's like a switch.
I wish I could remember what our TSN turning point was.
But there was. It just clicked in. Oh,
I think the biggest,
I get it.
our biggest problem back when we first started, we did a lot of trying it on largemouth, and that's very specific. Smallmouth is the fish to learn it on, smallmouth and walleye, but smallies are a great, if you're going to look to learn live scope, that's a great fish species to use it on because they're just,
First time that you and I put Panoptics on the boat.
Yeah.
Do you remember where
We went over to the carp, or the Pickering power plant.
Shallow water where we could see fish. We knew that they were fish, so we.
This is the original Panoptics, King.
Before
Before
live
LiveScope,
scope.
that big, ugly transducer, or it was PS21 we had on there. Yeah, so it's still around
Looked
too.
like an ultrasound. You know, if you're looking at a baby through ultrasound, that's kind of what the image was, and we couldn't figure it out. We couldn't figure it, but so we said, okay, we got to see what we're looking at to understand what we're seeing.
Right.
So
and
we
that
went,
water's so clear in Pickering there.
Exactly.
Oh, God, yeah.
Exactly. And you could see these big, massive carp, moving around. So we started working with those, and that's kind of where we started.
That is where we started seeing.
Oh, that's what that is.
Yeah.
Isn't that a great little fishery, though?
Oh my God! What a place! What a friggin' place! There's like 7 pound smallmouth sitting in there at any given moment.
There's nothing like pitching into a outtake and the guy standing on the shore with a machine gun on his arm watching the fish.
True enough.
He's a fisherman.
Somebody told me that that's completely shut down.
No, so from what I've told, I went there a couple of years ago, 3-4 years ago, and they blocked it all off with the big buoys. They had it all blocked with the big yellow buoys. I've heard since then, I think last year, they pulled them out again. They said, no, we can't do that, or we're not doing that. I don't know what the reasoning was, but they opened it back up. So that's what I've heard. I haven't seen it that way because I haven't gone back because it was you were access denied right around. It was a yellow buoyed up everywhere, just like on a dam or something like that.
Like Cornwall.
Yeah, they just you just can't get in with a boat. So, but I think it's open since then, and it's a great fishery, man. There's like multi-species. You could get a steelhead on one cast, a carp on one cast, a bass on one cast.
Head, the next
A
one,
sheepy,
and
exactly. Brown.
You get one of those. You get one of those great big carp up by the fast water outtake, and then the boat takes you right out.
Oh my God! I got spooled there one time on a carp. So
Somebody is listening.
Yeah.
Somebody is listening to this right now saying, are you guys serious? Do you realize how dangerous that could be? That's why they shut it down. Do you realize you guys are
dangerous, though?
Well, no, it's not. We don't think it is. And you have to be careful when you're fishing in that type of water.
Yeah. The most dangerous part about that is the blowhole. When that thing starts going, they got this releaser that blows big bubbles of air up. If your boat's on top of that, you might be in trouble then. But that's a cool fishery, though. But that's right. We learned it. We learned our first live forward viewing on the Panoptics on carp. Yeah, that's what we did.
And every year, guys, they just keep making these things better. Like you can almost tell what kind of fish it is now.
Yeah,
right?
you're getting You can tell the head to the tail on a lot of times. You can see the difference in that sense. Yeah, I mean and you can see positioning of fish. Kinger, I was telling Ange, I was fishing bass last year, and muskies were in the lake, and I could see the muskies turning up like this on the screen, and then all of a sudden, boop, they go down and take the bait. So you can, it's like insane seeing that kind of stuff.
You've got the LBS 32 or 34.
LiveScope Plus or
34.
34. Wait till you try the 62.
Yeah. Well, I tend to like to go with somebody to see it work first before I purchase it.
This
and then
year,
figure out where I'm getting the money from.
This year, we're going to.
That's a double hint right there.
I know. Sorry. This year, we're going to make a point of making that happen. Right.
Wow.
You got to see what we're doing with this stuff now, because we're kind of taking it to the next level, and it's not that easy to explain, and certainly it's not that easy to visualize until you're there on the deck of the boat and you say, wow, that's easy.
Those ones that are running off the side are pretty cool. Yeah. Are you dialing into those too, Pete? Like you?
No, we didn't like those ones off the back like that. You mean? Yeah. No, we haven't done that. But we would, but we're keeping it kind of tame. I think
what we're doing now is trying to use as much perspective view and down view together.
Yeah.
Right. Because one of the problems that you've got, like all the rest of us that are using, the one-dimensional forward view, is that you can tell where that fish is in terms of depth and position in the arc, but you can't tell where it is this way. Right?
Yeah. There's a little bit of luck to it too. Still.
Yeah,
right?
it's somewhere there, but it could be just 2 feet over from where the somewhere there is. So what we're trying to do is bring all that together and get a best way to explain it is get more of a 3D look at what's ahead of us, right? So, basketball. It's been, you know
we're
what?
still learning all the time.
From my standpoint, I know Pete well enough from his as well. I mean, it's what's keeping us in this game because it's so exciting. Fishing has become brand new to us. You know, brand new. Yeah. And that's what makes it so much fun.
I think, you know, where we missed the boat, where Ange and I missed the boat, Kinger, on it, is when side imaging came in and down imaging. Yes. And we didn't take advantage of that. And we're taking advantage of it now because of this forward viewing stuff and that. Back in those days, we had our traditional screen on and we'd have a GPS on and you mark waypoints and you look for a hump, you look for a water temperature, and that's about it. But you really used all your instinct. When people got onto the side finding stuff, they got good at it and they're just saying, oh my God, they're over there and they're over there and they're waypointing. And we're sitting there going, wow, what the hell? You know, I don't need that shit. I can't even understand it. You know what I mean?
Remember the first time we saw it?
Side imaging? Yeah. No. What was
out in BC? Vic.
Oh, God, yeah. That was a perfect example.
Sturgeon fishing.
Yeah, and we still didn't click in.
No.
Because we thought they're sturgeon, they're 6 feet long. So they're easy to see. You can't see a walleye like that. But
you know who you guys are? You're the 2 old pricks in the balcony in the Muppet Show.
Grumpy old men. You're right. That's right.
Bucket list fish and fishing trip for you. There's got to be one that you haven't done.
I want to go south of peacock bass, you know. So, and after watching you guys, I got to get out. I got to get out to Eastern Canada and fish those big stripers.
Those stripers, bud.
Yeah, like that's ridiculous. That just looks like the best time.
It is.
And the people you talk to and the people you kind of, and I mean, I'm only watching a half-hour show. Like they just seem like the best people.
They are.
Earth, right?
You're seeing what they are. They are the best people on earth.
And I want to catch a big tuna. So,
oh boy.
So nothing really, you know, nothing else.
Do you know what?
I've got them 50-inch muskie and then, you know, the sailfish and all that. I'd go catch a perch right now instead of working here. I think you know me well enough. I'm not picky, boys. I just love to be in the boat with my friends.
But those are good goals. Those are good bucket listers right there, man.
I really, really do want to try those stripers out.
Oh, buddy, you will not be the same person. Yeah. You'll go nuts for it.
It'll save me a few days in the gym, right?
It will. Trust me, it will. Man, they kick your butt big time.
What a fishery out there, though, eh?
What's that?
What a fishery out there.
Oh, my God. It's insane.
They have no idea what they have.
It's insane.
The amount of bass fishing out there too. I'm shocked when you guys did your shows out there.
It is shocking.
Nice too.
Yeah.
They have no idea. They will in time. They will as the.
Well, you keep doing shows out there, you'll have everybody going out there. They won't mind the hotel rooms booked up though.
They like it. Trust me, they like it. So
I was speaking to a guy this morning. It's funny to say I had a doctor's thing this morning, and this guy comes over, and I knew, oh God, here we go, right?
Fish and talk.
And the problem is I'm sitting underneath a TV screen because it's the only seat left, plus the seat next to me. And so I've got the sound of the TV already like filling my head with sound. He comes over and sits down, hey, how you doing, man? I saw you here last year. He says, we must be on the same cycle, you know? He says, anyways, I just want
to. That's a good thing or not.
No kidding.
He says, I just wanted to come over and tell you, man, that striper fishing you guys do down in New Brunswick, oh my God. I got to get down there. And I'm thinking, boy, you better hurry up because you don't have a whole lot more time. He was considerably older than I was.
Oh, God.
And he's going on and on and on. And I'm picking up half of his, and I'm picking up the other half about the election and Carney and Trump. God, this can't be happening to me today. But he wanted to.
That's why we like to go fishing. We can leave all that stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But he wanted to tell me how much he looks forward to going down and fishing those stripers.
Well, you know, the reality of it is, though, like what Kinger, his first one to his second one, for us as Canadians, especially as Ontarians, but how easy it is to go out to get that world-class fishery. You either bring your boat with you or you don't bring a boat. You can hire a guide, but you put your boat behind your truck and you're there in 14 hours and you're into the best striped bass fishing in the world with a straight drive-to fishery. It's crazy. That good. It's that accessible. So
we're so lucky with
we
what
are.
We have available.
We really are.
I think things are going to move more in that direction in the months and years ahead. I think this little kick in the ass that we just got, politically speaking, I think it's going to make us all think more about spending our vacation dollars here. And
we got her here.
And maybe fishing will take up a big part of that, right?
Well, we got such a huge natural resource with our fisheries alone, let alone the hunting and everything else. But the fishing alone is just world class from coast to coast.
Yeah. I think you and Coop need to drag one of your boats down there.
Let us know. We'll follow you.
I'm telling you, a weekend. 14 hours isn't that long if you have 2 drivers.
Yeah.
Right?
No, it takes me sometimes that long to get to Muskoka on a Friday night.
Up to 400, bud.
Yeah. Well, that's the beauty of that drive, though, is that it's beautiful.
You go opposite Toronto. You get away from that way. Yeah.
It's beautiful. Anyways, Kinger, we've taken enough of your time, my friend.
Have fun tonight. Good luck tonight.
Be nice. Be nice tonight, please.
Yeah, no problem. Who you guys got again tonight?
Play nice. Ooh. What do you mean?
Ooh. Stanley Cup champions. Okay.
Yeah, but you know what? Bennett's not playing. Bennett's out.
Bennett
and Tkachuk.
Kulikov.
Yeah.
Barkov.
No, Barkov's in.
You talked to your bookie already?
Yes.
Okay.
Obviously, I'm not going to put money on unless I know. So he's in.
Hey, Kinger.
I want to find out what's going on in my league. I'll give you a call.
I love it.
But it's always a pleasure.
Thanks for the tour too. That was nice to see that. That was great.
Get your ass in here and see it for real.
No problem. And we will make that happen this year. We're going to get you out and play around with some toys with you on a boat.
Loving it.
All right. Take care, my friend.
Hang on, I got to practice here again. Hang on.
There he goes.
No goal, Toronto high stick.
I love it.
We'll see you, brother.
See you,
Take
Kinger.
care, man. Kris King, Vice President of Hockey Operations.
Great way to go out, eh? Hey, Kinger's always good at that.
God. What a wonderful guy.
Great guy.
He is your prototypical fisherman. Forget what he does for a living. Forget he was a hockey player.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Salt of the
born
earth.
in Ontario, right? He's a Northern Ontario boy. So that right there, he's had his whole life.
So. Just a wonderful individual.
Yeah, great sense of humor.
I'm sure that most of the guys that played in his era didn't think he was all that wonderful because Kinger could be a little nasty.
Bit of a menace.
A little nasty out on the ice.
Yeah.
But wonderful guy. And the game is in good shape primarily because of guys like him who are... looking after it for us. Have we missed anything?
I think we're good.
I think we're good.
I do have a bonus code in front of you.
I do.
There you go.
I do.
You do.
I do. Wait for it.
Come on now.
Here we go. This week, wow, look at this. Hey, how appropriate. How does he know? How does he come up with these bonus codes?
Is this Dean that does this?
I think so. Or I don't know. We have maybe a code guy. Decoder. This week's code, Stanley.
Wow. Oh, like in the hammers and the tape measures?
No, baby. The cup that the Leafs are going to win. I was going to say this year.
I know you were going to.
Someday.
This
Stanley is the bonus code. It's STANLEY. Just take that and type it into the bonus code section of the fishingcanada.com contest, and you will receive 10 free entries, kiddies. 10.
Come on now.
If the Leafs don't do it, who are you picking this year? Who's going to win the Stanley Cup? Just a quick one.
God,
I've got an insider. The long shot, St. Louis Blues is a long shot.
Nah, they did their long shooting and they got it. But I would like to say
Edmonton. Come on, say Edmonton.
I was going to say Edmonton. But I hate
So
if
nice.
that happened before the Leafs did it. But
No, you can't think that way.
I
I get your
know.
hardcore in that, but come on. Right now, the era of this Canada-U.S. a bunch of bullshit, and
It's a bunch of
this would
bullshit.
be a nice
Thank you.
Edmonton win right here.
Oh, any Canadian win would be great.
true.
Winnipeg? What's the matter with Winnipeg?
True enough.
Talk about
True
a
that.
great Cinderella story. How about Winnipeg winning it?
Yeah, boy. Uh-huh.
But maybe my Leafs. Who knows? Anyways, Stanley, put it in. 10 free entries. You too could win all kinds of beautiful stuff. It's all available at fishingcanada.com.
Indeed.
That are it. Want to thank our special guest, Kris King, Vice President of Hockey Operations for the National Hockey League, and a great angler, great outdoorsman as well. On behalf of the entire team, Vova, who is now here, Nick, who is over there, sometimes he's there, actually.
Well, he was good today.
He was good. He didn't move.
Not yesterday, but he was
and
good today.
Dean was quiet.
Come on now.
Dean wasn't real. He didn't, because
he's
the
pressure.
last
It was
one he was.
pressure.
Maybe didn't want to screw up with Kinger, right? He probably
He's pressured on him.
he's nervous with the big Kinger around there.
He's Peter Bowman. I'm Angelo Viola. Thanks, folks, for pitching.
Bye bye now.
This episode of Outdoor Journal Radio has been brought to you in part by the Invasive Species Center, protecting Canada's land and water from invasive species. Freedom Cruise Canada, rent the boat, own the memories. J&B Cycle and Marine, your home for all things power sports, boats, and equipment. And Sail, the ultimate destination for your outdoor adventures.